Hello, it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and I hope you have absolutely fabulous day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create some dragon cards with very colorful design papers. If you like those cards, I really hope you'll feel inspired and craft along with me. For today's project, I'm going to use some cutting dies from Tonic Studio. However, if you don't have this cutting die set, you can also use some nesting dies from your stash or use your trimmer or guillotine to create some squares or rectangles. As you can see, this cutting die set is made to create some albums, but I'm going to use it to create some cards. With the biggest cutting die, I'm going to create the card base from white 300 GSM card, and with the smaller one, I'm going to use it with the design paper. So here it is. We also need some black as well for a little bit of contrast. And I thought that will work so well with the stained glass effect. If you agree with me, please let me know in the comments down below. Now I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue and I'm going to use my magic glue. However, for today's project, I decided to use a bigger bottle because in the end, I'm going to create 9 cards and I'm going to show you all of them at the very end of the video. Just to make sure that my projects are completely and beautifully finished, I'm going to use some red liner tape and then add a little bit of liquid glue as well. As you can see with the cut base, we need to cut the end off, and that is going to be super easy, especially if you have bigger scissors. So now my front panel is decorated, but if you do have any excess of the white card, you can always use your scissors to trim the excess. Super quick and simple so far, right? Now I've got one more white panel which will be at the back. So again, I need to use my scissors to cut the bottom off, and when this is ready, then I need my scoring board, and this one is from Crafter's Companion, and I'm going to create a top flap. So this way, I'm going to have a super nice shaped card. Have you ever created cards with dragons? If you haven't, I'm going to leave all the links to the products I use in today's video so you can check them out. Actually, the design papers and elements I'm going to use come from Creative Fabrica, and I have to admit, I absolutely love it because you can get beautiful graphics for lots of different projects. It's always a good idea to burnish your card inside, and now it's time for a dragon. So I fussy cut it. And as you can see, it also has that stained glass look effect, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to put a little bit of red liner tape, then peel it off, and when this is ready, add a little bit of liquid glue. And at this point, I thought I really want some very nice contrast. And to do it, I'm going to use some gold mirror card from my stash. I actually didn't use the whole sheet. I only used whatever I had left in my scraps drawers. So I do encourage you to have a look what you've got and then use your nesting dice or even trimmer to create smaller elements. So now to give even more contrast, I'm going to use black card as well. So this way, that dragon element will match beautifully the front of the card. And when this is ready, at this point I thought I really like it, but can I make this card even more special? So going to add some dimension, and from my stash I decided to use some foam pads. I don't really have tape at this moment, so I had to use those. So don't worry, you can always use those smaller elements as well, and your card will be professionally finished in the end. All you have to do at this point is to add some liquid glue, then foam pads, peel off the backing, and then add a few drops of liquid glue as well. And when this is ready, then you have to decide where do you want to put it on the front of the card. As you can see, you can always use your pokey tool to make your job easier. Have you ever created a card with dragons? If you haven't, it is so much fun to create. Last year, I created a dragon shield shaped card and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to leave the link to that video at the very end of this one so you can check it out. If you have created a card with dragon, what did you use to create it? Did you use some cutting dice, stamps, or maybe embossing folders? Please let me know in the comments down below. I created that set of dragon cards for the science fiction festival I went to last weekend, and I have to admit that people really loved those cards. I'm going to use Happy Birthday Cutting Day from Crafter's Companion, and I use exactly the same gold mirror card I use to decorate the dragon. So this way all my elements will match beautifully. So as you can see, this card is super easy to create. And if you don't have that cutting die from Tonic Studio, you can always use any nesting dice from your stash. And have you ever created any projects with stained glass window, background and elements? If you haven't, I really think they've got that amazing, gorgeous look to it. There is plenty of space to write your message inside, and the card stands proudly on a flat surface. Now it is time for card number 2. Okay, so let's create the back of the card. So using my scoring board, I'm going to create the top flap. When this is ready, then we can attach the front and the back together. It's always a good idea to use your bone folder just to burnish that scoreline, so it will be professionally finished. So as you can see, I already attached the black and white card together. And whenever you create any card base, I do encourage you to use very heavy weight cardstock. This way, your card will be very sturdy. Now I've got my small element, and again I'm going to use my red liner tape. And it's always a good idea to actually use a combination of red liner tape and liquid glue. So this way all the elements will be adhered forever. So what do you think about that stained glass window effect on those cards? Do you like it? Do you like that colorful vibe to it? Please let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious what do you think, because I found those design papers very beautiful and I really wanted to create some projects with them. And I think those dragons worked really well together with the background panels. So now it is time to use that dragon on our front card. And to be honest, with those elements from Creative Fabrica, you can make them as small or as big as you want. So you can adjust the size of the dragons for your projects. And again, I'm going to use some gold mirror cut and black cut as well to make this element pop even more. And I do have to say that black really puts all those elements together, especially if you have that black border on the front card and also the element you added. So what is your favorite way to add dimension to your projects? Because here I'm using some small foam pads. But if you do have tape or maybe any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below. So as you can see, our second cut is nearly complete. All we have to do is to get rid of the excess of the glue, because we really want this cut to look professionally finished. And now it will be time to add some foam pads and adhere that element on the front of the card. So if you were to create a card with some dragons, do you think they've got some special powers? If you do, what do you think they could do? Because what I really like about dragons, first of all, they are very beautiful and they can fly, so they can see the whole world. If you do have your favorite dragon, please let me know in the comments down below. In Poland, when you go to Krakow, we have that legend, and when you go to see the castle, then you can go to the cave, and when you go out of the cave, you can see the dragon. And I think it is a really cool one. Have you ever seen that dragon in Krakow? If you haven't, maybe next time when you go to Poland, you can see it. And if you do have your favorite story about that creature, please let me know in the comments down below. Now it is time for the sentiment, and the cut will be complete. So as you can see, those cuts come together super quickly. And in the end, I created 9 of them. So I'm going to show you one more and then all the cards I created off camera. And I really want to know, what do you think about the color combos I chose? So as you can see, the second card is complete and it is time for our last one. So here I've got the front panel ready together with the sentiment. And now I created a slightly bigger dragon element because I really wanted to have a little bit of interest and actually a little bit of difference as well. Now, when this is ready, we're going to attach it on the front of a card. I don't really know if you can see the dimension in the video here, but in real life, it really makes a difference. So now you can see all 3 cards side by side, and I really want them. Which one is your favorite? So now you can see all the other cards I created. And if you do have your totally favorite, please let me know in the comments down below. So, as I told you, these cards are super easy to create. So if you want to get those design papers with stained glass window effect or the dragons, I left the links in the description down below. And I have to admit that those blue dragons are my favorite. If you do have a different favorite, please let me know in the comments down below. For the last card, I also added some gold gems around. Thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone who recently subscribed to my channel. You are amazing. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting!